So I'd like to take a few minutes to outline some of the things that we're doing at the moment. There's quite a lot. I won't be able to cover everything, and it's a bit of a whistle-stop tour because I've only got a few minutes to do it in. But it will not be technical, you might be relieved to hear. So the first thing I want to talk about is the buddy scheme, together with the support groups that are beginning to spring up all over the country. The buddy scheme is a joint venture between Leukemia Care and ourselves, and they're actually operating the scheme. And this is a means of putting patients in touch with each other, and patients in touch with carers, and carers in touch with patients. It's done mainly over the telephone, but several of the people that have joined the scheme, either as a buddy, and there's an element of training to go through for that, or as a patient, have become personal friends, and they've set up their own sort of organizations around the country. It is nationwide. It is available to everybody. If you need any more information, and that's about all I'm going to say about it at the moment, if you need any more information, Leukemia Care have all the details there. If they're not available, then I've got some other information as well. There is a buddy coordinator based in Worcester, and they will sort everything out if you want to be a buddy or you want to be budded. The other thing is the support groups. Now, these are very exciting because these are fairly recent. Excuse me a moment. I've got to get this right. These are specialist CLL support groups, and Leukemia Care has set them up in Cambridge, Southampton, of course, Leicester and Nottingham. There are others coming all around the country. We also have one on the Isle of Wight, and I believe we've got the two people responsible for that, Lizzie Pearson and Susan Cracknell, here today. Would they like to make themselves known, Lizzie and Sue? Oh, stand up. Stand up, that's it. Yeah. So they said, thank you very much. Thank you for setting it up. We do think these initiatives are very important, and it enables patients to meet on an informal basis and get to know each other. So many people earlier on said that they'd never met a CLL patient before. This is a way of doing that in a very casual, relaxed way. And some of them also invite speakers in, similar to what we've had today, to talk about CLL and the consequences and so on. Again, we have more details of that, and Sarah, who you met as you came in, will also have some details if you're interested. On to the next thing. Looking briefly at our work with NICE. NICE, as you may know, is the National Institute for Clinical Excellence. They're the people that tell us whether we can have the drugs that we want or not. And then the NHS picks those up. That's basically the way it works. This is really a vital part of our work, and I think in the last 12 months we can claim some success. We've made several representations to NICE over the period, and we've also campaigned successfully to get an NHS directive put to one side. It was overturned because of pressure that we and Leukemia Care and our other charities, our sister charities, worked on. This would have meant, had it not been overturned, that patients who relapsed after 2 years of their initial treatment would not qualify for one of the new drugs, ibrutinib. It was quite a lengthy campaign in the end, and it involved questions in the House of Lords to the minister. We were fortunate in one of our trustees has good contacts in that area, and Lord Forsyth was persuaded to ask questions. He asked several questions in the House and got the minister on our side, basically. So that now means that ibrutinib is available full stop, not if you relapse before 2 years. We think that was quite a significant victory. We've also presented to NICE on the new combination, venetoclax and rituximab, and again this has now been approved. This is all vital work. We have a technical representative on our team, and she presented at the second and third reviews of this particular drug combination. And first of all, the standard procedure seems to be with NICE that it's rejected for whatever reason. And you have to go back and you have to present your case again, and in this case, a third time. I think the evidence ultimately from patients and from clinicians and from the researchers was so good that they could hardly refuse. But this, I think, is going to be quite a big, have a big influence on the way people are treated in future. Also, I'll just talk very briefly about our work with pharmaceutical companies. It's important, our connections with the pharmaceutical companies is important because we have early information on new developments, on new treatments, and we're also able to advise them about how patients feel, because we get a feedback from yourselves, how patients feel about the treatments they're getting. And at least 2 of the large companies have approached us to mentor, so that we go to them and mentor them on how patients are feeling and advise them on everything from how can they make things simpler in terms of what you get inside the packet of the drug. How can you make it legible? How can they bring the patient in to what they're doing? And the 2 companies that I'm thinking about are very, very keen on that. And I think we're having some influence there. Hopefully, yes. But we need to keep in touch with them. They help us and we help them. The next thing is the website. The website is probably it's certainly one of our most important assets. If you Google CLL, our website comes top or second or third. It depends on what day of the week it is. But it's one of our best assets, I think, in giving information to patients. It was designed, 10 years ago now by 2 trustees at very little cost. And when you look at it, you can see it was pretty hand-built. It served a very good purpose. But what we'd like to do now, and at last we have the funding to do it, is to create a new website that's easier to use, is more modern, and contains more information. So we're working on that at the moment, and hopefully, in fact not hopefully at all, because we have a time frame on it, it will be published and on site by the end of the year. And it will work first time. Honest, it will. Honest. We're also preparing an information pack, and Olga is very much involved in this, as am I. One of the key feedbacks that we get from patients is that they don't get enough information at diagnosis or afterwards about CLL, about what to expect, about where they can look for more information. We have a leaflet, which I'll refer to again. What we want to do is update that. There are other leaflets from Leukemia Care and Macmillan. We think we can, in some respects, improve on those because we understand CLL. We think we understand CLL. Every trustee is either a patient or a carer of a patient of CLL. So we understand exactly what it feels like, I think. So this information pack, again, will be, we think, easily readable, easily digestible, but contain a lot more information than you can get from the standard ones. And that'll be out again later this year. Olga has everything in hand. I have complete confidence. CL Forum. It says a whistle-stop tour, but the CLL Forum is an organization where all of the key consultants in CLL talk and get together and talk about developments, and they set the guidelines for how CLL should be treated in patients. So if you're present with a certain diagnosis, you'll be treated in this way, and so on. Those guidelines are very, very comprehensive. We've had a look at them and we think, yeah, that's absolutely fine. But there isn't enough in there, we thought, about how the patient, as a person, should be treated. Particularly in watch and wait, and particularly psychologically. What sort of questions should be asked? What sort of questions shouldn't be asked? And so we persuaded the forum, which is a very, very austere body, to allow us to write our own paper. And it'll be short. It's not going to be terribly long. It'll be 5,000 words. And it will then be a set of guidelines for the emotional support that patients require during their journey. This will be published, we hope, by the end of the year, and it will be published in one of the main hematological journals, which makes it, if you like, gives it an authority. We've combined, because we couldn't do this on our own. No one would listen to us if we did it on our own. So we've got a pool of charities, including Leukemia Care and 2 other charities. We have psychiatrists and psychologists on the panel. The panel is about 12 different organizations, but we're coordinating it. And we think it's going to make a significant impact to the way that consultants, hopefully, treat their patients in an emotional and personal way. Champions. On your table, you'll see something that is a bit strange, maybe. It's this is an initiative that we started about 6 or 8 months ago, and it's really taken off. Okay. These are the proposed roles. Now, don't get too panicky here, because I'm only going to look today at the first one, which is the profile raising champion. The other ones will come in later on. At the moment, currently, we have 99 champions across the country. We'd love to make that 100 today. It would be great. On your table, you'll see a leaflet which describes what it's all about, and a form which you can add your name if you'd like to become a champion. What's involved is, for example, taking some leaflets whenever you go to the clinic, putting them at the clinic. Because, as Olga mentioned, so few people hear about us through the clinic. We have to try and rectify that, because that's when they need us, at the clinic. It's a simple matter of enrolling, taking the leaflets, putting them in the clinic, talking about CLLSA whenever you speak to other patients, whenever you speak to the consultant, whenever you speak particularly to the clinical nurse, if you're lucky enough to have one. And if you haven't, I would suggest that you ask where she is, he or she is. But for us, it's very important to get out into that level of the community and start to bring people in. So you could do that whenever you go to your GP. Most GPs know very little about CLL and almost nothing about CLLSA. My own GP had in the previous 10 years 1 other CLL patient and couldn't remember whatever happened to him, which is a shame. Now, that's not unfamiliar. Now, some GPs are much more on the ball, but many GPs have very little experience and understanding of CLL. It's a question of educating them, and we'd like you, if you can, to try and help. Leaflets to new or existing patients. Encouraging patients to join us. The more patients we have, the more power we have, the more influence we have with the sort of bodies that I've been speaking about, particularly the NHS, particularly the government, and that's vital. You could help by attending other events. Leukemia Care have regular conferences, and you could help by joining or starting a local support group. These are all sort of things that are not too difficult, but make a huge, huge impact for us. So sign up if you feel that you can, and we'll get past that 100 mark. This is what it looks like. I'm not sure when that's coming out very well, but we're pretty widespread. We're a bit light on the south coast, yeah, and we're still working our way into Wales, and we're still thinking about Scotland. But this is only been going for a few months, so this is early days yet. It's not very onerous to do it, but it helps us enormously, and in helping us, it helps other patients as well. Okay, that's me finished. Thank you very much indeed. If you have any questions at all, I'll be happy to answer them, but this is just a quick run through. There are many other things that are going on with CLLSA, but I'll mention those at future conferences. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.